Hi and welcome to this video on question answering with BERT. So firstly, we're going to have a look at the Transformers library, and we're going to look at how we can find a Q&A model. And then we're going to look at the Q&A pipeline. So we're going to look at actually loading a model in Python using the Transformers library. We're going to look at tokenization, how we load a tokenizer and what exactly a tokenizer is actually doing. And then we're going to take a look at the pipeline class, which is essentially a wrapper made available by the HuggingFace Transformers library. And it basically just makes our job in terms of building a Q&A pipeline incredibly easy. So we're going to cover all of those. It's going to be quite straightforward and quite simple. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so when we're doing question answering, we're essentially asking the model a question and passing a context, which is what you can see here, for the model to use to answer that question. So you can see down here, we have these three questions. So what organization is the IPCC a part of? And then the model will read through this and use its language modeling to figure out which organization the IPCC is part of, which is not inherently clear from reading this. We can see we've got IPCC here and is a scientific intergovernmental body under the auspices of the United Nations. So clearly the IPCC is a part of the United Nations, but it's not clear, it's not definitively saying that in this. But once we've actually built this model, it will quite easily be able to answer each one of these questions without any issues. So the first thing we want to do is go over to the HuggingFace website, and on the HuggingFace website, we just want to go over to the models page. So it's here. Okay, and on this models page, the thing that we want to be looking at is this question and answering task. So here we have all these tasks because when you're working with transformers, they can work with a lot of different things: text summarization, text classification, generation, loads of different things. But what we want to do is question answering. So we click on here, and this filters all of the models that are available to us just purely for question and answering. So this is the sort of power of using the HuggingFace Transformers library. It already has all of these pre-trained models that we can just download and start using. Now, when you want to go and apply these to specific use cases, you probably want to fine tune it, which means you want to train it a little bit more than what it is already trained. But for actually getting used to how all of this works, all you need to do is download this model and start asking it questions and understanding how everything is actually functioning. So obviously there's a lot of models here. We've got 262 models for question answering, and there's new ones being added all the time. A few of the ones that I would recommend using are the deep set models. So here are the deep set models. There's 8 of them for question answering. The one that we will be using is this BERT base case squad 2. Another one that I would definitely recommend trying out is this Electra base squad 2. But we will be sticking with BERT base. Now, it's called deep set here because it's from the DeepSet AI company, and this model is being pulled directly from their GitHub repository. So DeepSet is actually the GitHub organization, and then this is the repository BERT base case squad 2. BERT is obviously the model BERT from Google AI. Base is the base version of BERT. So you can see here we have BERT large. That's just a larger model. We're using the base model. Case just refers to the fact that this model will differentiate between uppercase and lowercase characters or words. The alternative to this would be uncase here, where there's no differentiation between uppercase and lowercase. And then squad 2 refers to the question answering dataset that this model has been trained on, which is the squad 2 dataset from Stanford University. So we're going to take this model. So you can see deep set BERT base case squad 2, and we are going to load it into here. And all we need to do that is from Transformers. So this is the HuggingFace Transformers library. We want to import BERT for question answering. So this is a specific class, and using this class we can initialize a few different models, not just this specific model. So you can see here we have this BERT based case. We can also initialize this BERT large on case, Roberta, and if there's a distill BERT as well, we can also load those in. And what this does is it loads that specific model with its question and answering layer added on there as well. So this model has been trained with that extra layer specifically for question answering, and we need to use BERT for question answering to load that. Otherwise, if you are not using it with a specific use case and you're just wanting to get the model itself, you can just use the auto model class like that. But we want it for question answering, so we load this one. Another thing to note is that we are using the PyTorch implementation of BERT here. So Transformers works by having both TensorFlow and PyTorch as alternative frameworks working behind the scenes. In this case, we're using PyTorch. If you want to switch over to TensorFlow, all you do is add TF in front of that class. So that is our model. And to actually load that in, all we do is copy this and we use the from pre-train method. And then this is where the model name from over here comes into play. So we've got deep set, BERT base case squad 2. And we just enter that in there. Okay, and with that, we've actually just loaded the model. That's all we had to do. Of course, there are a few other steps. This is just a model, but there are a few steps before we actually get the data to the model. So we need to actually process the data. So we have this context here, and this is just a string. BERT doesn't understand strings. BERT understands an array of integers where each integer represents a token ID. And that token ID is very specific to BERT. And each one is unique and represents a specific word or piece of syntax, punctuation, or so on. So we need to convert this string into that specific BERT ready format. And to do that, we need to use a tokenizer. So again, we're going to go from Transformers, and we're going to import the auto tokenizer class. Here we can use, for example, the BERT tokenizer, but for this, we don't need anything specific. It's quite generic. It will just load all of those mappings from the string or the word to the tokens. There's no real issue there. So we import our auto tokenizer, and to initialize it, we just do this. It's practically the same syntax as what we used before. We use this from pre-train method. And then again, we're using the same model. Okay. And then with this, we can actually tokenize our data. So all we need to do is write tokenizer, encode, and then let's just pass in one of these questions. So we'll pass in the first one. So questions, and the first question there. And two variables that we will need to add in here are the truncation, which we will set to true, and the padding, which we also set to true. So when we are setting up these models and the data going into them, BERT in particular will expect 512 tokens with every input. Now here, when we look at this, we can see there's probably one, so each one of these words is most likely to be a token, and then this question mark at the end will also be a token. So we have around 10 tokens in there. Now, because we have padding, this will add a set of padding tokens onto the end of it to bring that total number of tokens up to 512. Now, alternatively, say if we had 600 tokens in there, we would be relying on the truncation to cut the final 88 tokens to make it a total of 512. And that's why we need those two arguments in there. So let's see what we get from this. You can see here that we have our tokenized input. So BERT will be able to read and understand this. And essentially what we have, so this 1327 is the equivalent to what? This 2369 is equivalent to organization, and so on and so on. Now, what you might not see here is why we have this 101. So 101 for BERT actually refers to a special token, which looks like this. And this just signifies the start of any sequence. So if we were to just take this, we can see that, okay, we get the same again. We get this 101, which is the starter sequence. Then we get the starter sequence token again, because that's all we've put into here. And the tokenizer is reading that and converting into the 101. And then we also get this final special token as well. And we can also see that it's here. So this is another special token, which signifies the end of a sequence, or it signifies a separator point. So if we write this out, we see here that the separator is 102. And what I mean by it signifies a separation point or a separator. So when we feed this context and this question into our BERT model, BERT will expect it to be within the format, something like this. So we have the starter sequence token. Then we will have our context tokens. So this will just be a list of integers, which are the token IDs. And then what we will see is a separator token here, followed by our question, which again, after this is followed by a separator token. And again, after this, we get a set of padding tokens, which look like this. And that will just take us up to the 512 token amount. And that's how the data going into BERT will look like. We have that starter sequence, we have the context, we have a separator, we have a question, we have a separator, and then we have padding. It's always going to look like that when it's going into a BERT Q&A model. So if we just remove that and this here, and what we want to do now is actually set up this tokenizer and our model into a pipeline, into a Q&A pipeline. So again, we get this pipeline from the Transformers library. So we come down here, do from Transformers, import pipeline. And now what we want to do is just initialize a pipeline object. So to do that, we just write pipeline. And then in here, what we need to add is a model type. So obviously you can see up here, we have all of these different tasks. So summarization, text generation, and so on. The Transformers library needs to understand, or this pipeline object needs to understand, which one of those pipelines or functions we are intending to use. So to tell it that we want to do question answering, we just write question answering. And that basically sets the wrapper of the pipeline to handle question answering formats. So we'll see our input, and for our input, we will be passing a context and a question. So we'll see that. It will convert it into the right structure that we need for question answering, which is the CLS, context, separator, question, separator, and padding. It will convert it into that, feed it into our tokenizer, and the output of that tokenizer, our token IDs, will be fed into BERT. BERT will return us a span start and span end, which is essentially two numbers which signify the start position and end position of our answer within the context. And this pipeline will take those two numbers and apply them to our context to get the text, which is our answer from that. So it's essentially just a little wrapper, and it adds a few functionalities so that we don't have to worry about converting all of these things. So now we just need to pass in our model and the tokenizer as well. And it's as simple as that. That's our pipeline setup. So if we want to use that now, all we need to do is write NLP, and in here we pass a dictionary. And this dictionary, like I said before, needs to contain our question and context. So the question, and for this we will just pass the first of our questions up here again. So this question's at the index 0. And then we also pass our context, which is inside the context variable up here. Okay, and this will output a dictionary containing the, well, we can see the score of the answer. So that is the model's confidence that this is actually an answer. Like I said before, the start index and end index, and what those start index and end index map to, which is United Nations. So our question was, what organization is the IPCC a part of? And we got United Nations, which is correct. So let me just show you what I mean with this start and end. So if we go 118 here, we get the first letter of our answer, because we are going through here and it is pulling out this specific character. If we then add this and go all the way up to our end, which is at 132, we get the full set, because what we're doing here is pulling out all the characters from U, or character 118, all the way up to character 132, which is actually this comma here, but obviously with Python list indexing, we get the character before. And that gives us United Nations, which is our answer. So let's ask another question. We have, what UN organizations established the IPCC? And we get this WMO and United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. So if we go in here, we can see it was first established in 1988 by two United Nations organizations, the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, and the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. So here we have two organizations, and it is only actually pulling out one of those. So I think the reason for that is all that is reading is WMO and United Nations Environment Programme. So it is pulling out those two organizations in the end, just not the full name of the first one. So it's still a pretty good result. And let's go down to this final question. So what does the UN want to stabilize? And here we're getting the answer of greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere. So if we go down here, we can see the ultimate objective of the UNFCCC is to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere at a level that would prevent dangerous anthropogenic interference with the climate system. So again, we are getting the answer, to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations. So our model has gone through each one of those questions and successfully answered them, and all we've done is written a few lines of code. And this is without us fine-tuning them at all. Now, when you do go and apply these to your own problems, sometimes you won't need to do any fine-tuning, and the model as is will be more than enough. But a lot of the time you will need to fine-tune it, and in that case there are a few extra steps. But for this introduction, that's everything I wanted to cover there. In terms of fine-tuning, I have covered that in another video, so I will put a link to that in the description. But that's everything for this video, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.